Good evening, I'm Brett Baer, and this is a Fox News alert. The Florida pastor who had ignited a huge controversy with plans to burn copies of the Quran on the 9/11 anniversary has had a change of heart. Senior correspondent Eric Shawn is live in New York with the breaking story. Good evening, Eric.
Good evening, Brett. It sparked condemnation around the globe and this morning criticism from the President of the United States. That planned Koran burning on 9/11 by Gainesville pastor Terry Jones. President Obama denounced it as a, quote, recruitment bonanza for al-Qaeda. And at a news conference this afternoon, Jones said he is calling off the burning. He spoke with Defense Secretary Robert Gates briefly on the telephone, who expressed concern about the plan, but a spokesman says the Defense Secretary received no assurances from Jones. Jones also at a news conference claimed that he did speak with Imam Faisal Abdul-Rauf, the spiritual leader of the so-called Ground Zero Mosque, who Jones says now plans to move the project. But an official of Park 51, the Islamic Center near Ground Zero, says that claim is not true, that the Islamic Center is moving ahead as planned, and the sponsors say they do not have any plans to meet with Pastor Jones. Nevertheless, an imam who was with the pastor in Florida says that they plan to fly to New York on Saturday for a meeting with the mosque sponsors. Here is what Pastor Jones said.
The American people do not want the mosque there. And, of course, Muslims do not want us to burn the Quran. The Imam has agreed to move the mosque. We have agreed to cancel our event on Saturday. And on Saturday, I will be flying up there to meet with him.
Well, the pastor's claims about Imam Rauf seem completely at odds with what the imam said on a television interview last night. The spiritual leader behind the so-called Ground Zero Mosque claims not building it is now a matter of national security. Imam Faisal Abdul-Rauf says if opponents have their way, forcing the project to be moved or abandoned, that will only inflame Muslim radicals and endanger American lives.
Our national security now, it hinges on how we negotiate this, how we speak about it, and what we do.
Rauf says had he known the project would have generated such opposition, he would not have proposed it in the first place. But now, it's too late.
If we moved from that location, the story will be that the radicals have taken over the discourse. The headlines in the Muslim world will be that Islam is under attack.
Opponents, such as 9/11 family member Deborah Burlingame, view his message as a threat.
Imam Faisal was being very, very clear, connecting the dots between what happens at Ground Zero and extremism. Basically threatening, at a minimum, it was an ultimatum, saying if you make me move this mosque, you will see bloodshed.
On Wednesday, the FBI said that multiple ongoing controversies impacting U.S. Muslim communities may serve to polarize public opinion and fuel Islamic extremist rhetoric. The FBI currently has no specific credible information that international terrorist organizations are planning action against the United States because of these events. Others doubt terrorists will be motivated if the project is moved.
People who are inspired to commit acts of terrorism are driven by things much deeper than the location of a mosque or a community center or whatever you want to call this thing. You know, they have issues with the United States and with people who are not Muslims that go far beyond this.
Meanwhile, the center of another Islamic controversy was honored by German Chancellor Angela Merkel. She presented Danish cartoonist Kurt Westergaard, whose depiction of the Prophet Mohammed sparked protests in 2006, with the Press Freedom Award. Well, meanwhile, Imam Rauf will be speaking out more in the coming week. On Monday, he will appear before the prestigious Council of Foreign Relations here in New York City to defend the plan. And even late today, Donald Trump weighed in, saying he will offer one of the developers 25% more than he paid for the building if they agree to move the mosque 5 more blocks away from Ground Zero. But a lawyer for that investor called the offer, quote, just a cheap attempt to get publicity and get in the limelight. Brett?
We'll continue to follow it all. Eric, thank you.